So this has an analogy with the brain that that a number of researchers have brought up, especially my mentor and teacher, a doctor called Alberto Vialdo. He's a medical anthropologist, and he has done work along with many others who've found connections, and the parallels are that the brain is formed in layers, and the core of it is a reptilian brain. This is where the autonomic nervous system works from. It's where the entire body's regulation takes place, heartbeat, breathing, everything that you don't have to worry about. It's done at this level. And this, by metaphor, is the level of, Newtonian mechanics, the world of the clock, the clockwork universe, everything beating as a metronome. And it ties in with this very base level that the shaman talk about, the physical level. And then the second layer is the limbic system, and this surrounds the reptilian brain. And the limbic system is responsible for emotions and feelings, and there's it's responsible for the 4 F's, as they're called: fear, what are they? Fear, feeding, fighting, and fornicating. Those 4. Okay? Those are the 4 that the limbic system is responsible for. And there's an area in that called the hippocampus, which is believed to be responsible for storing trauma. And so a lot of the work that takes place actually happens in this particular system. And then around that is the neocortex, which is what really differentiates us from most of the other mammals. And the neocortex uses the language of images and music. This is where complex thought takes place. This is where creativity takes place. This is where music is composed. This is the world of Einstein and fractals and all of that beautiful stuff that we've created. And a lot of the mythic takes place here. And again, this is where the analogy is with the soul level, the mythic level. And finally, there's in an area of the frontal lobes where it appears that consciousness resides. This is the spot that absolutely lights up in an MRI with people who are meditating while sitting in an MRI, which are studies that have been done. It's probably not the best environment for meditation, but still, this is where the so-called God brain resides. So this is where consciousness seems to be. And so again, this is ties in with the shamanic 4th level, the spirit level, as they call it. And so the work the shaman does affects body and mind. it has an all-encompassing effect. In fact, it's quite holistic in how it's done. The way that the shaman works when you go to see him is, or her, is the first thing they do is they open sacred space. They call in the four directions, and to them, the way it works is that the four directions represent these different levels as well. And so the south, there's an archetype associated with every direction. And the south is associated with the serpent. And the idea of the serpent is, well, of course it's reptilian, but the idea is that this is where a lot of shedding takes place. This is where a lot of release takes place. Baggage is released. Things that no longer serve. Things that need to be let go of. This is the direction that you first learn how that process is done. The second direction is the west. The archetype of the west is the jaguar. And the jaguar is seen as an archetype that allows us to track, to be able to see what it is that we're looking for, what it is that is the problem. So in this direction, the tracking skills of the jaguar, if you will, are sort of embodied by the shaman, and so that you learn to track like a cat. The third direction is the north, and that is the archetype there is the hummingbird. But what it represents is being very light, being very energetic, being able to feed from only the sweetest nectar, being able to source directly from